Yo, what's going on, guys? Foul Football. We're back again. Chris Kupari here. Today's video, we're going to go over a recap of the Finns and the Pats. This game might have been a win for us Finn fans, but it was disappointing to say the least. I did not enjoy the game as far as how Miami played. I thought the Patriots outplayed them in every aspect of the game. But hey, at the end of the day, when you go into Foxboro and you get a win, I guess that's a plus. So that's the only good thing that we're taking out of that is the W. First place in the AFC East after week one doesn't mean a lot. Week one is kind of like the preseason in my eyes. They're still shaking things out, figuring out what works. And, by week 3, 4, 5, I think you really get who the strong teams are and who the weak teams are. So we'll see how this shakes out. But, nevertheless, I'm happy for a victory. 17-16, win by a point. X comes up with the fumble. I mean, man, getting paid and then performing. So let's go through some stats and let's see, what actually happened. And, I'll give you my take on Tua and how I think his season's going to be. And then I'd also love to hear what your thoughts are on Tua. But let's dive in. So let's start with the Patriots. The Patriots stat leaders, we got Nelson Aguilar, who went 5 for 72 and a touchdown. Damian Harris tore us up, 23 attempts for 100 yards. He had some receptions as well. He was all over the field. He coughed up that fumble, which, basically gave us the win. Other than that's a pretty good player. I mean, he played really well. He's going to have a good season. I really think he is. Mac Jones, 29 for 39, 281 and a score. And James White had 10 touches for 61 yards. So rushing and passing combined, all-purpose yards, 61. But Mac Jones played well, man. 29 for 39, 280 yards, and a touchdown. I thought the Patriots looked good on offense. I thought that they had their offensive line playing strong, pushed us around on the defense no matter what we brought at them. Anytime we decided to blitz, they picked it up. Anytime we ran stunts on the defensive line, they picked it up. Anything that we did and we threw at that offensive line, we got pressure. I don't know. I'll have to look at the exact numbers, but I only saw maybe 2 to 3 plays where we actually got pressure on Mac Jones. He didn't hold the ball that long, and a lot of his throws were dink and dunks. But, either way, he still completed a lot of passes, and they moved the ball pretty well on us. And I think the most frustrating part was that we could not get pressure on him, so we couldn't rattle him at all. And he definitely had a pocket to stand in and deliver, passes whenever he wanted to. So I went through the Patriots. Now we're going to go through the Dolphins stats here. Up at the top, you see all the leaders, passing, rushing, and receiving. We got Tua, obviously, 202 yards passing. We'll break them down more as far as the attempts and everything in future slides. We have Gaskin, 49 yards rushing. He actually had 5.4 yards a carry as well. He had more yards per carry than Damian Harris did, but we didn't continue to rush the ball. I have no idea why. Devontae Parker, 81 yards. Waddle, 61. Those were the two receiving leaders. Gaskin had 27 yards as well. But if you look here, total first downs, Miami only had 16. Patriots had 24. And if you look at this stat here, which is third down conversions, we only went 4 for 11. So under 50%. Patriots went 11 for 16 and lost the game. You don't see that a lot. When a team holds on to the ball and converts their third downs, that keeps the opponent's offense, us, off the field, and it keeps them on the field, tires the defense out, and they should have had way more points. But hats off to our defense, who every time that the Patriots got to the red zone, we made plays and we kept them out. So definitely kudos to Brian Flores and the defense for stepping up in that case. Also, turnover-wise, we had 1 turnover, we had an interception, and they had 2 fumbles. And if you also look at, I'll have to look at the exact stat, but the amount of penalties the Patriots had, it was a lot. And that's not Patriot football. Generally, Patriots will commit the least amount of penalties in the league like they did last year, and they will not turn the ball over. And, today they turned the ball over, and they committed a lot of penalties. So that's... that loses games for you, and I think that's exactly what lost the game for them today because they played and outplayed Miami, in every area. So let's look at the next slide here. So we also have comparison between passing and rushing. So if you look at Tua went 16 for 27, 202 yards, only completed 60% of his passes. Not terrible, about 7.5 yards per attempt. He did have a touchdown and a rushing touchdown, and that one interception I thought was pretty rough. He just tried to make a play happen, and I just don't think that's Tua. I don't think he's the type of guy who's going to scramble around and leave the pocket and make this amazing makeshift play. I haven't seen it yet. If he starts to do it like a Russell Wilson, I'll be thrilled, but it's just not him. And, it ended up being an interception. So, but then Mac Jones went 29 for 39, 281, 74% completion percentage, 7.2 yards an attempt. And he did have a touchdown. So, I mean, he outplayed him. Alabama quarterbacks, Mac Jones definitely outplayed Tua. His line, I think our line held up pretty good, though. I don't think you can blame the line. I think they held up well. A few plays, Tua had some pressure, but, nothing crazy, and they played well overall. I just think that if you look at the overall picture, Mac Jones he's more accurate. He's more calm under pressure. I think he's got a better arm. He was just a better quarterback, unfortunately. I hate to say it too, but it is what it is. If you look at the rushing though, Gaskin and Harris, Harris ran all over us. Miami's definitely weak at the linebacker position. I think that with Raquan Davis going out too, in the interior line, that played a big role in Damian Harris being able to open up some holes and being able to run through some holes, and that offensive line being as good as it is, push some people around. So 4.4 yards per attempt, though. So if you look at this, if we would have stuck with the run a little bit longer, he had 5.4 yards an attempt. I know he had a burst on a couple, one run. He had a pretty good, 15 yards, but Damian Harris had a 35-yard run. So, I mean, he was running okay. We just kind of stepped away from it, and I think we wanted to see what Tua could do, and, we got the job done. So let's look at the receiving for Patriots and the Dolphins. Top two receivers on the Patriots were Jacoby Myers and Nelson Aguilar. They went 11 for 116. Aguilar had that touchdown, and Parker and Waddle went 8 receptions for, 142 yards, and 1 touchdown for Waddle as well. Parker was nasty. Parker was snagging the ball out of the air. He was playing well. Tua was giving him some opportunities. I think Parker can be a big deal this year, especially there's so many weapons that Fuller's coming back next week. So you have people trying to cover Fuller, and you got Waddle, and then if they put Grant out there, it's like a track meet. And then you got Parker, who's the jump ball guy, and Gesicki. I don't think Gesicki actually had a catch, and I don't even know if he had a target, which is unfortunate because you got to get him involved as well. We just couldn't sustain drives, and the Patriots defense is pretty good. Cornerbacks are hurt, but still, we got to be able to sustain drives. Overall, guys, I thought the game was disappointing. Not disappointing that we won, but if you look at and break it down further, I think that there's some issues with Miami's offense, and their defense has some holes, especially when it comes to the run game, run stop. And I just think that it's going to be a struggle this year if we cannot sustain any drives offensively and just have any. There's just something missing on the offense still. We just don't have those big impact plays. Even like with Fitz last year, Fitz would come in and you'd feel a different energy on the offense. But with Tua in there, it's there's something a little different. I was even watching Justin Fields come in for the Bears and score that touchdown. It's just a different energy than when Dalton's in. And like you'd expect to get that when Fitzpatrick was in last year and then when Tua came in last year. But I felt like it was the opposite. I felt like when Fitzpatrick was in, everybody was just high energy, ready to play. And then Tua came in, and they still played hard, of course, but there was just a different feel to it. And I don't know if that's going to change. I'm one of the biggest Tua skeptics there is. I didn't love it coming out of college, the pick. I thought it was risky. But overall, he's a good dude. I just don't know if he's the guy for the team. So, we'll see what happens. But 1-0, Miami Dolphins, happy. And Buffalo comes into town next week, and that's going to be a huge test. I think Buffalo's a little angry, and they'll come in strong. I think Josh Allen's going to whip the ball around a little bit. So we got to be able to maintain him. And if Tua can't go score for score with that team, then, we lose. So, yeah, we got to see what happens there. That's all I got for you guys. I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Let me know your thoughts on Tua, and if you think he's going to be the guy for the Dolphins, or if you think it's going to be the same as last year and we're going to make a push for maybe Deshaun Watson by the trade deadline. We'll see what happens, but we'll be back tomorrow with the recap video for the week 1 picks and the week 1 action, and then we'll do week 2 picks, and we'll have that posted probably tomorrow, or obviously by the Thursday night game. Appreciate you guys watching. Like, subscribe, comment. If you have any input on videos you'd like to see in the future, please let us know. And until next time, this is Chris Kupari with Foul Mouth Football, and we'll see you. Peace.